Video of the year. I'm going to go over the homework that was due today on the graphs. Your last assignment is just going to be like a wrap-up quiz. It's all multiple choice. You put your answers in problematic, and whatever you see as the score at the end is what you got, and it's all in this trig stuff. So let's take a look at this. Now our options, because I didn't do all the other trig functions, I stuck to sine and cosine, is determine if we have a sine equation or a cosine equation. And if you notice, it's always what's going to hit the origin. See right here how the graph hits the origin? That means it has to be sine. So y equals sine. So I'm going to cross off any choices with cosine. Then I'm going to look at the amplitude because that goes out in front. Notice it goes up to the number 2. So that means there needs to be a 2 out in front. So that means it can't be A. So we've eliminated down to D. Now just real quick, the next thing you would look at is 2 pi. How many pictures do you see? How many up and downs? There's 1. That's why there's a 1 there in front of the x. All right, next one. Notice it hits the origin, so it has to be sine again. But all of the choices are sine, so I can't eliminate anything. Now, if you look at the amplitude, see how it goes down here? Now, see how it goes down instead of up? That means it's going to be negative. So you get rid of choices C and D, and it hits -2. So that means there has to be a 2 out in front. So that is A. Next one hits the origin again. So it's sine. It's going up, so it's positive. It's going up to a half, so there's got to be a half out in front. So now I know I can eliminate A and C. Now look at 2 pi. All right, how many up and downs do you see? Well, here's 1 up and down. Here's 2 up and downs, so that means there needs to be a 2 in front of the x. So that's going to be D. All right, number 4. Now let's take a look at this guy. If you notice, it does not hit the origin, it hits up high. So that means it has to be cosine. So I'm going to cross off A and B. Then it goes up to the number 2, that's our amplitude, so it has to be choice C. All right, next one, does not hit the origin. So that means it has to be cosine. So I'm going to cross off A and B. How high does it go? It goes up to 2. So that means it's got to be B. So see how easy it is to eliminate the choices? All right, next one, hits the origin. So that means it's got to be sine. It's going up, so it's positive. It goes up to 3. Right, so I can get rid of C and D. Now, look at 2 pi. That's what goes in front of the x. How many up and downs do you see? Well, I see it go up, but that doesn't go down. And that means we're only seeing half of the picture. So that means it's got to be choice B. All right, next page. Number 7. Hits the origin. So that means it has to be sine. I'm going to get rid of C, that's cosine. Now, see how it goes down instead of up? That means it's got to be negative. So I'm going to get rid of A. And then I look how high it hits. It goes at 3. So that means it needs a -3 out in front. So that needed to be choice B. All right, number 8. Notice it does not hit the origin. That means it has to be cosine. So I'm going to get rid of B and D, because those are sine. The amplitude is 2, because it goes up to 2. So that's still good. Oh, this is gone. Look at that. Choice A. All right, and the last 2. Does it hit the origin? No. So that means it has to be cosine. But they're all cosine. All right. Then we're going to do amplitude is 1. So does it get rid of that guy. All right, now you have to look at where it hits by 2 pi. This one's a little tricky. Notice it says pi and not 2 pi. Well, if I were to continue this out to 2 pi, right, that means it would have to come up again like this. I'd have to finish the picture. So if I went all the way out to 2 pi, is that the complete cosine curve? And it is. It's up, down, up. So that means we get one picture by the time we hit 2 pi. So that means it's choice A. So that was probably the hardest one, in my opinion, on the whole sheet. Now, next one. The accompanying diagram, find the equation. All right, now, put y equals. Is this sine or cosine? How do we know? Well, does it hit the origin? No. So that means it has to be cosine. Now, notice it's starting down at -2. So I'm going to put -2 out front. Now, look at 2 pi. Do we see a total up and down movement? We do. There's one up and down, so you're going to put 1x. And that would have been the answer to number 10. And with that, everybody, I am done for the year. You have one more assignment that's actually going to count as a grade. You won't get 4 points. I believe it's out of 30. It's 2 points a question. So that'll be due Monday, and then we are a wrap for the year.